I'm going to show you how you can get a gaming computer that's going to outbeat any console here, and even the Scorpio. It's going to beat out the Scorpio. More likely than not. I highly doubt the Scorpio is going to be able to beat this, and especially and if I had to make a guess, I'm going to guess and say that the Scorpio is going to cost it's going to cost more than what all Xboxes before it ever cost. So let's go ahead and open up Google Chrome. Yeah, whatever. I'll set it as default. I'm not going through all that work. Okay. Okay, so let's go to eBay. So the way that I built my first computer is I purchased a used PC on eBay. Now, the first one that I got had a Core 2 Duo in it. You can't play every game with that. Games like GTA 5 or basically games that require you to have 4 cores aren't going to run. If you tried to run GTA 5 on anything, on a computer that has anything less than 4 cores, it's going to crash. Simple as that. Now, actually right here, we're just going to look at used computers that have an i5. With an i5, you're not even going to have to upgrade. In fact, I still have the computer that I have now currently has a 3570 in it. I don't even have to upgrade that. I don't ever have to upgrade that. I don't have to upgrade it to use VR. That's VR compatible. Well, I say compatible, but anyway, I'm not going to need to replace that for a long time. The only reason I would need to replace that is if I wanted to, which I'd have to replace the motherboard and the CPU and everything in order for it to be worth my investment, and I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. So now, I got my computer for like $150. Granted, it was one of these HP Slimline computers that you cannot fit a desktop, a full size. You cannot fit a full size graphics card in that. You'd have to have one that's half height, which good luck finding that. So we're gonna look around. Actually, I don't know. Do I have a 3570 or 3470? Let's go in GeForce Experience. It'll tell me in here. Get started. Oh, crap. I'm not doing that. God dang it. I just want to know what CPU I have. Maybe if I go to System Information, maybe that'll pull it up. i5 3570. Okay, cool. So i5 44. Okay, that's on bid. Never mind. Scratch that. i5. Well, which i5 has Windows 7, 5 gig hard drive, 4 gigs of RAM. This thing looks like crap, but I don't understand. How do you have scratches and scuff marks on your computer? How? Yeah, no, I just don't trust this one. The one that I bought came from a company that basically got like hundreds of the computers. In fact, actually, this is basically the exact same one that I have. Granted, it has less RAM than mine came with. i5V Pro. Yeah, this is basically the same one. So you could buy it from this person for $125. So now this computer only has 2 gigabytes of RAM. So you're going to need more RAM. So let's go to Amazon. This one uses DDR3. I just speaking from experience. DDR3. Let's get an 8 gig kit, and I believe it only has 2 slots. So yeah, let's get 2x, 4 gigabytes. Because 8 gigabytes is a good amount. It's all you're gonna need for most games, and you're not gonna need anything crazy. So I think 1600 would be fine. Hell, let's see. I'm not just gonna the Crucial Ballistic Sports, that'll work. Let's just open that. Keep that page up. Actually, let's go back and then open that up in a new tab. So let's open up Notepad here. Actually, do I have Word? I do have Word. Why am I using Notepad? I could literally just use a spreadsheet. So Excel 2016. I literally have a spreadsheet. Like, let's literally make a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet Simulator 2016. Okay, so processor and motherboard. It's going to cost you $. It's going to cost you $125. That's what it was. Okay, so now let's go. Now, how can I format this? I want it to be on the right hand side. Yeah, good. Okay, anyway. Okay, so $125 for that. Now your RAM, we're gonna get so we're gonna get 8 gigs. Okay, let's do this. Let's just make this all currency. And also, let's make a $sign. Oh, I mean, hey, whatever. Anyway. Okay, so 8 gigs. Wait, what's the difference? Is this one cheaper? No. That's weird. Anyway. Okay, so we got a computer and we got RAM. So the next thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a power supply. Now for the graphics, for the configuration that I plan on creating here today, it's not going to be anything. It's not going to be anything super power hungry. So you really don't need anything overly expensive. Oh wow. I didn't even realize that was $35.99. That is really cheap. I'm pretty sure I got mine for $45. I had the exact same one. And it works great for me. So now $35.99. So next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna look at. So we have RAM, we have a power supply. So that computer comes with a 250 gig hard drive. That's extremely tiny. Like, extremely tiny. So I'd have to recommend getting a new hard drive. And even that, it's a used hard drive. Not something that you want to use used. Now, granted, I got a 2 terabyte one with the one that I got, and I'm not using it as my main hard drive, but I'm using it as an external one. And it still works. I've had it for probably not quite a year, more like 9 months, but I don't remember. So now let's go with. Okay, so we already got the computer. that's a good one. I'm not going to spend any more time looking. So now let's go for a... So we got the power supply, got the RAM, we got the processor, and we got the motherboard. Now let's go with the graphics card. Yeah, that would be the last thing. Now, granted, you're not going to be able to plug this in traditionally. Actually, I'm not even going to say that. I'd have to look at my computer, and I'm currently using the computer, so I'm not going to take it apart while I'm making this video. So, why did I just type in graphics card in Google? Okay, I have a disease where I just type what I'm saying. Okay. So, the GTX 1050 Ti just came out a couple weeks ago, something like that. I don't remember. It came out. Anyway, EVGA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti SC gaming, blah blah blah. It's $149.99 and it's great. Take my word on that. It's great. If you don't believe me, Google it. So, graphics card. Actually, I'm curious. No, I mean, I'm sure. Okay, hold up. GTX 1050 Ti passmark. No, it's not on passmark yet. Okay, I mean, I know that's not very good. Because that's the only one that I know is uniform. What's another one we can test? We can try. Okay, let's do this. GTX 1050 Ti versus GTX 960. That's actually the graphics card that I had when I bought my computer, but I paid $250 for mine. And because I wanted one that had 4 gigabytes of RAM, so I paid like $250 for it. So, let's take a look at... Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about that either. Blah, blah, blah. Give me the performance comparisons. What? Did I just glance over it? Where's it at, bro? Where's it at? Now that's a tiny card. Now what I was going to say is, I was going to say that your graphics card is going to be too long to stick into the computer, but with this, with the 1050 Ti, as small as it is, it could actually fit, possibly. I don't know for certain, but it could possibly fit on the motherboard. Now granted, it's not going to fit in the case because you'd have to cut a hole in the case in order to actually put it in there, because it's only designed for half-height PCIe things. And unfortunately, this is not a half-height card, nor will it ever be. I mean, I say never, but this is not a good comparison. You're just comparing the specs. You're not comparing performance in games. That's awful. GPU boss, get your shit together. This is not a comparison. This is just saying, hey, this one operates at 1,290 megahertz. This one operates at 1,127 megahertz. That's 50% higher. Like that doesn't tell you anything. You could have a processor that has twice the processing speed. Anyway, you could have one that has twice the clock speed, and have one that has, the other one has twice the number of compute units, or whatever you want to call them. Which one's gonna perform better? Theoretically, they'll perform exactly the same. Anyway. Okay. So now, GTX. Let's do. Come on, somebody's gonna have it. 1050 Ti, 1050 Ti versus 1060 hardware bench. Hopefully there's actual benchmarks. Gaming Performance Index. Based off of what? What exactly are you basing that off of? Game benchmarks. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so just from glancing at that, in most things, the 1050 Ti outperforms the 960. Not by much, but slightly. But that's extremely great considering I paid last year $250 for mine. Yeah, I paid $250 for mine, and now they're like, so now you pay $150, and you get a card that's gonna play games at 1080p 60 frames per second. In most games, on high to ultra settings, you might have to turn some things down, like shadow resolution, things like that, if the games even have the option. But in most popular games, like we're talking about your CS:GOs, we're talking about your Overwatch, things like that. It's gonna perform great. Like you're gonna be able to play in at least 1440p with that card and things like Overwatch. And hey, with CS:GO, I can almost promise you're gonna be able to play at 4K with that. Granted, it's CS:GO. You could run that on a potato. So, but hey, it's more than what you could even get out of that Xbox Scorpio. But wait, but the Xbox Scorpio has 4.8 teraflops or something like that. So, I don't even bring up teraflops. I did not look up the number of teraflops that the GTX 1050 has and compared that to the number of teraflops that the GTX 960 has as a performance comparison. I looked at the actual benchmarks in games and how many frames per second you're going to get in said games. Because the number of teraflops doesn't matter. What matters is the performance in the game. Like, I do not care, because teraflops is compute performance. Unless you're actually using your graphics card for computing, like for instance, if you're doing some type of rendering with your graphics card with utilities such as Blender, like if you're making movies or like CG movies, yeah, then you should definitely care about the number of teraflops that you can get per second. Like for instance, if you have, especially when you're comparing two different brands such as AMD versus Nvidia, AMD cards tend to have a higher number of teraflops, but tend to perform worse in games. So, anyway. Okay. So we got a processor, we got a motherboard, we got a RAM. We got a RAM. Yep, that's English. We got a power supply, we got a graphics card. What else do we need? Now, the only thing that you might need, I needed it for me, but that's because I needed it. That's because I had the 960, which was not going to fit in the motherboard the way that you do it. So you might need a PCI riser. So now, wait, what? What is this? What is this? Wait. No. 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 This can't be. This can't actually exist. I want to buy this so bad. Is that literally plugged in with USB 3? is that USB 3. Can you literally plug that into your computer and then have a PCI Express port? There's no way. Hold up. Hold up. That's going to be another video. I'm telling you that right now. Anyway. That's going to be a video. Okay, so anyway. What you're going to need is something like this. Where what you do is you plug in the PCI Express into the card. You plug that into the motherboard, and then you plug this into the card. And what I did is I basically just opened up the case, because if you look at, so you look at this picture here, it's not a very good picture, but if you look at, so if you take off the side panel, and then just what I did, I literally took double-sided mounting tape and taped the graphics card to the side of the computer, and then plugged in that cable into both the computer, into both the motherboard and the graphics card. And in doing that, did it look great? No. I have pictures. If I can find my pictures, I'll put them in this video. If not, then, well, you won't see them. But, yeah, basically I put the graphics card onto the side of the computer, and then I did it with my first computer. I actually cut a hole for the cable to go through, but for this computer that I bought, because I did buy another one, the one that had the Core 2 Duo. I think I already said that. But anyway. Yeah, so I bought one that had a Core 2 Duo. I actually took the time to cut a hole in the side of it, and then run the cable through that, and then put the graphics card on the side of the computer, because that was the only position that it would work. Because when you have that riser cable, you have to make sure that there's no other cables near it because of crosstalk. Like, you can't have any SATA cables near it or any power cables near it, because your computer will literally crash every now and again, and that gets annoying. So you just have to make sure that it's far away from all the other stuff on the computer. Now, that's only because that's a cheap one. If you paid more money and got a better riser card, then you wouldn't experience that issue. But if you're doing that, then we might as well just flat out build a computer, which we're not going to do. We are trying to save money here. Even something like this. This, you can just look at it and you can tell that it's better shielded. This would be better. This would be better than the one over here. Granted, this one works fine. It just takes more time, and as long as you know what you're doing. So PCIe riser card. It's gonna cost $749. So we got a processor, we got a motherboard, and we also have a case. Yeah, I guess we could add case here. Processor, motherboard, and case. So we got RAM, because we need more of that. Got a power supply, got a graphics card, got a PCIe riser card. Now I'm gonna add the hard drive, but I'm not gonna add a hard drive. I'm gonna add a SSD. So how much is it for? Let's just look up SSD. I wonder how much is okay, I jumped the gun there. That's 60 gigabytes, not 500 gigabytes. Okay. Nah, it's too much for that. Because granted, you could use any SSD, and you're gonna have way better performance than you would with any hard drive. So now, is there? So you could get a so you could do, let's just round it out. Let's just type in hard drive. Because a terabyte hard drive. So 1 terabyte hard drive. I can't spell, but you know. Yeah, that's gonna cost you like $50. So let's just round it out and say 60. So that gives you the option if you wanted to get an SSD. Okay. So now, let's get to the total. So the total here, so let's do the sum, function, the sum of B1 through 6. How did it? No, it's so smart. 419.46. So, let's see, how much did the Xbox 360 start out at? Not the Xbox 360, Xbox One. Xbox One launch price. Granted, I think it went down, but I'm not sure. So 1 year ago, the PS4 price was the more tempting deal, $399. And Xbox One was... So, the PS4, when it launched, I know it got cheaper. At least I think it did. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. Was it a long time ago? Anyway. PS4, $399. $20 more. You get something way better than what the PS4 was. Granted, we're comparing that to... Now, how much will the PS4 Pro launch at? PS4 Pro launch price. Now this is probably, granted this is a guess. $399. Okay. So did they actually unveil that? I don't know. Let's assume. I'm going to assume that is a rumor because it says they announced, but I don't know. This is a GameSpot article. This is not PlayStation's website. Oh, wait. The one-time ads are helpful. Let's pre-order it. How much is it going to cost? Yes, pre-order now. $3.99. Okay. So for $20 more, you're going to get something way better. Way better than the PS4 Pro. Granted, it's not a Blu-ray player. This computer is not a Blu-ray player. Who gives a crap? This is for playing games. We care about playing games, not about watching movies. If we wanted to watch movies, we'd be buying a Blu-ray player. Okay. So $419.46. For a graphics card, power supply. Oh, I didn't tell you about the power supply. So, the one downside to this computer is that it has a proprietary power supply. You can't remove it. You can't, or rather, you can't replace it because the connectors that it has are proprietary. The connector actually looks like a PCIe power thing, but if you were to plug that in there, it would probably fry it. So yeah, don't do that. And so you can just do what I did, is you keep that power supply in there. If you've watched Scrapyard Wars on the Linus Tech Tips channel, I'll leave a link in the description of the video that I'm talking about. But Austin Evans was a guest, and what he did is he, instead of having one power supply that was able to do all the work, he got two cheapo power supplies, if I'm remembering it correctly, and he plugged them both into the same computer. Now, the way that you have to do that is kind of complicated. and I was able to do something similar to that with this computer. What I did for mine is, so I plugged in, so I literally only had my power supply for the graphics card, the CPU, everything like that. That's done by the power supply that came with the computer. I only had it for the graphics card. Oh wait, crap. I just realized something. You don't even need a power supply. I just realized. Or rather, remembered. Where's it at? Where'd it go? Did I close it? Well, here's a picture. The 1050 Ti, there's no PCI Express power slot on there. It just uses it. It's such a power efficient card. It doesn't even need that. It just uses it from the PCIe. Gets all its power from there. So, in reality, as long as that computer is designed to spec, which I would assume that it would be. I mean, I don't know about the build quality of HP's, but I mean, I'm perfectly satisfied. I was perfectly satisfied with what I was getting out of it. But then again, I did have an additional. I don't know. So you don't even need this power supply. You can scratch this. Let's delete this row. So now you get a computer that's cheaper than what the PS4 Pro is going to be, and it's way better. Granted, you still need a monitor and everything, but with the PS4 Pro, you gotta have a TV and everything, so there's really... Okay, one more thing. You're gonna need a keyboard and you're gonna need a mouse. So... I mean, but there's so many different ones that you could get, and that's all up to taste, so I'm not gonna put any ones in here in this list. Because, I mean, technically you could use a controller. And chances are you already have a keyboard and a mouse somewhere. That's what I used for my first computer for the longest time. I just had a keyboard that I had lying around. So chances are you'll be able to do the same thing. So $383.47. Tax where applicable. Plus tax where applicable. And you get a PC way better than the PS4 Pro. I've already said that. But at first I didn't even realize. At first I was thinking consoles are $300. So a PC for $400, that's not that bad of a deal. Because you're getting a PC. But for the PS4 Pro, if you pre-order, it's going to be $399. But if you got this, then you would have that and a PC. And it's potentially cheaper. Depending upon what you get. Like, for instance, you could get the 1050. It would be $50 cheaper. That's still a good card. I would definitely recommend getting the 1050 Ti, though, if you plan on gaming at 1080p. And it does 1080p 60. Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous. Thank you, NVIDIA. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, that's the end of this video. What I plan on doing in the future is I plan on purchasing that 1050 Ti and plugging it in, and then pulling all the parts that I currently have in my computer right now and rebuilding the computer that I had before. It's gonna be a lot of work. Well, not really. I mean, it's not too much work. It's not like it was water cooled or anything. But anyway, I'm gonna do that, and I'm probably gonna make another video testing out to see if that card will even work with that type of computer with its original power supply. Because, I mean, it was a 240 watt power supply. I don't know. It'll be a great video. Subscribe if you like. Hit like if you like this video. Hit dislike if you didn't like this video. If you thought, man, this guy talks too much. I don't know. There wasn't enough stuff going on the screen. Like, I'm pretty sure I just left this sitting here for like a couple minutes. But anyway, if you think this guy needs to edit better, leave a dislike. Whatever. Leave a comment. If you have some thoughts that you want to share, leave a comment. Whatever. Anyway, that's enough. See you next time.